funding for If This Bar Could Talk is provided by still no one.
Absolutely nobody.
But we'd be happy to be supported by just about anyone.
Yeah, literally anyone.
We can pretend to like anything. Anyway.
We'll give it a shot.
Yeah. So tonight we talked to Doug Winship. Very interesting guy. Very busy, clearly. He's got a lot going on. He is a bartender at Hooly Hooly in Powell, which admittedly we have never been to, but we've heard wonderful things about, and we can't wait to get there. We're definitely going to get carry-out cocktails from there very soon. We should do that this week, actually.
Yeah,
get some food, get some carry-out cocktails. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
But he also did a really great thing, which was he put together a cocktail book called Quarantinis to support the Columbus bar community. So it's a bunch of original recipes by Columbus bartenders who you will probably recognize, and Doug's in here also. And then the front part of the book gives like methodology and just kind of teaches you the basics of how to make a cocktail.
And the proceeds go to the Columbus bar community, so it's a great way to show your support for all of the people that you miss. Mm-hmm. Not being able to go to their bars.
Yeah, and this is a perfect time for a book like this when you can't, if you're not comfortable going out. Just and a lot of it is ingredients or things that you have in your home that you already have, and you can just make yourself a cocktail. So learn a new skill during the quarantine, right?
Definitely. All right,
and buy the book. Buy the book. Go on Amazon and buy the book. Cheers.
Cheers. Welcome to If This Bar Could Talk, a podcast about bartenders and the stories they have to tell, as well as the storied history of cocktails, spirits, and bars. I'm Blair Beavers, and here's your host, Leanne Sims.
Hey, Doug. Thanks for taking the time to be with us tonight. So how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you guys?
Pretty good. Staying healthy, staying active. So we can't complain too much. I'm drinking a tiki cocktail tonight in honor of you.
Oh, wonderful.
It's the right-hand man from Alex Eiler at Sidebar. So.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, pretty tasty.
I'm having a Blue Beetle #2, which is one of the ones actually from the book. So
nice.
Awesome.
So you were a contestant in our very first I'm Not Really a Bartender cocktail competition, and now you really are a bartender. So tell us how that came about.
Well, actually, it's I discovered there was a tiki bar opening up very near my house, and I was rather surprised by that and rather excited about it. And I actually I kept trying to figure out who owned it, and I didn't know anybody who knew who the owner was. So I finally got in my car and drove the 3/4 of a mile to Hooly Hooly. This is before it had opened. And I just knock on the front door and walk in and started asking questions about what they were doing, what their program was going to be like, what their philosophy was. And I was very impressed with what they were doing. So I ended up saying, well, if you need a mouthy guy who knows his cocktails but hasn't worked behind the stick before, I'd be very interested in being a part of this. And as it happened, they were looking for someone to be sort of a tiki ambassador. So I kind of fit the bill from them. So I've been there since the day one of their soft open.
Oh, that's so cool. And you do some sort of tour. Tell me about that.
We have a program up there called our Tiki Tours, which hopefully we'll get back up and running again shortly. We'll have to modify some things. But what the basic premise is it's a cocktail tasting program where I sit down with usually a group of 6 guests at a time, and we go through a tasting of different tiki cocktails. Usually 6 rounds of cocktails. Obviously, they're not full size because 6 rounds of tiki cocktails, you right home.
You won't be back up again.
But the drinks we make are not our menu drinks. They're ones either that are creations of mine, or ones that I've discovered either on the interwebs or in my travels around to tiki bars around the country, or things that I've picked up from friends of mine. Usually I may do some modifications to that. We already do a pretty high level presentation at Huli Huli for cocktails, but I try to kick it up another notch on the garnishes and the vessels we use to serve the drinks in and things like that.
And I understand from hearing just about you around town that you host an annual like secret tiki thing. Tell us about that.
One of the things that I find interesting is I've gotten a reputation as being a tiki guy, even though I'm really a classic gin cocktail guy. Is really my
right up our alley.
Yeah.
I built, my wife and I designed and built a very lovely basement bar in our home, and it is a very modern, black and chrome and purple and pink bar. But once a year in February, and this goes back to, I've maintained a cocktail blog for going on 14 years now. I think my 14th anniversary of the blog was only a couple of weeks ago, maybe a couple of days ago. And I got into that to explore classic gin cocktails. But a couple of years into that, I started exploring tiki. And I started doing, every February I would do tiki, because tiki requires a lot of work and requires a lot of infrastructure to do tiki drinks. And I've discovered that even more so since I've started working in a tiki bar. But I started in February doing a tiki month where I would write about tiki all month long. And after a while, I started wanting to do some tiki stuff in real life in my bar. And over the last few years, really over the last 5 or 6 years, I have every year increased the crazy tiki decor in my basement. It's a tiki pop-up for the month of February. It goes back, if you go down there right now, the only tiki thing left is the robot parrot and the working volcano. And that's just because I don't feel like putting them in storage. Everything else is not tiki. But in February, I do a series of little house parties for friends that I know from either my social friends or my bar friends. And we have a little weekly tiki pop-up. And for the longest time, that was my real bar training. That would be the place where I would sit down and do highly complex cocktails for 15 to 20 people at a time. So I was doing that intentionally in the idea that eventually I would be wanting to work in a bar or own a bar. We'll see.
And back up, what was the name of your blog? And
the name of my blog is The Pegu Blog, which you can find at that URL, thepegublog.com. Its real address is a subsidiary of one of my businesses, which is Killing Time Murder Consultants, which is killingtime.com. But you can find the blog at thepegublog.com.
Tell us about the Killing Time. That sounds interesting.
Well, Killing Time is a very interesting and lovely business product that I've been doing for about 20 years, and it has been completely nuked from space by COVID-19, in that it is a product designed for a stand-up, crowded cocktail party environment. So I don't really have, I've got a long time before I can even think about even trying to sell anything on that again. I have another small business that I was trying to stand up right before this happened, and I hope to be getting back to it, which is offering in-home cocktail skills education, which I was doing a bit of before this started, and like I said, I'm trying to stand that back up again now. I have a pretty good time with that when I do events of that nature, and I can do that responsibly with small groups. It's designed for smaller groups. So, but the Killing Time is a murder mystery entertainment business. It's a party for between 16 to 30 adults, stand-up cocktail type environment, and there's a murder mystery. The guests play all the roles. All the guests play a role. They even play the murderer and the victim, and they even stage the murder at some point during the party, and then we solve it.
Okay.
So it's kind of like Clue in full scale?
A little bit, yeah. It's a combination of Clue and live action role playing, if you will. The people don't have parts to read. There's no performance element in front of people, so people don't have to feel stage fright or anything like that. But you're spending about 2-3 hours being someone else. I give you a set of motivations and character traits and secrets, and then the guests figure out what to do with that. And I have an awfully good time watching the creativity of the guests creating the entertainment value.
Are there costumes involved?
I always tell people, I always tell hosts not to call it the cocktail party, because then potential guests will go, do I want to go to this cocktail? I want to go to this costume party. But that said, I always encourage people to dress to help them get into character. So I would say about half of the parties turn into fairly elaborate, crazy-looking costumes and outfits and things like that. And the other half are somewhat more normal. Everyone does a little bit to try and figure out, what would that character dress like and dress accordingly.
That's fun.
Yeah, when we can do it again, I definitely want to do that, and I'm gonna make everybody dress up because I love dressing up.
Like I said, I've had, I've done, but I travel for that. I do them all over the country, and I have had some very interesting clients over the years who have created more or less fascinating prerequisites for their guests. So sometimes the parties do get quite elaborate.
Are you allowed
sometimes
to
they're black tie, sometimes they're period black tie. It can be an interesting collection of results.
Nice. And you're also the longtime treasurer of the USBG Columbus chapter, right?
Yes, I have been the treasurer since we established a Columbus chapter, actually.
Wow.
So that's about 6 years or so. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a learning experience for me. I feel most of the time I feel like I'm the oldest guy in the room. That's because most of the time I am the oldest guy in the room. And it's always very educational working with these kids who care so much about their craft and what they're doing, and are really working very hard to be real true professionals. And there's a lot I have to learn from them. USBG is a lot of fun, and I recommend it for anybody who really wants to know about the bar industry.
And you don't have to be a bartender; you can be an enthusiast, right?
Exactly. There's 3 different kinds of memberships. The one is for a working bartender. If you draw shifts at a bar, that's the core membership. That's, I'd say, 80% of our members, 70% of our members. Then there are professional industry memberships. That's your liquor representatives and people like that. And then finally, the last category is enthusiasts. These are people like me who are consumers at a very high level, who have a great deal of interest in the craft of bartending, as well as interest in spirits education and things like that. And anyone can become a member of the United States Bartenders Guild as an enthusiast, and go and participate in events and come to our parties and come to our spirits tastings and things like that. The USBG is eager to have people outside the industry that give us some balance and swell our numbers and give us an entree into the customer arena, which is very important, obviously.
Right.
So besides loving alcohol, loving the whole culture, what got you interested in this whole
Craft
cocktail movement? What got you started?
I will say back in the 90s, my wife and I have been married 30 years now.
Oh, wow.
The first decade of our marriage, we were very big wine people. We would go to we'd go to wine dinners and wine tastings, and we traveled to Napa and all of that. We had a real good time with it. And I wasn't quite. I felt like, especially as time went on, I felt unsatisfied. And in 1999 for Christmas, my wife bought me, 99 or 98, she bought me a cocktail book. It was Paul Harrington's Cocktail. It was one of the very first blog books I ever saw, much less read. If you know what I mean by a blog book, a book that is essentially a compilation of blog posts. And this was a compilation of the cocktail blog on Wired from back in the 90s. And I bought this book and fell in love with all of these crazy ancient cocktail recipes. And one of the first things it did is cause me to say, okay, I'm going to get over my aversion to gin and I'm going to try some of these gin cocktails. And as I progressed through there, I found a particular cocktail called the Pegu, which I really, really liked. And I became very frustrated. It became kind of a running gag that I could never find any bartender anywhere who knew what it was. So I would pester every bartender I ran into that was not in the weeds into making me a Pegu club so that they would then know how to make one for anyone else in the unlikely event anyone else wanted this incredibly obscure cocktail. I was unaware at the time that about that time, Audrey Sanders was opening the Great Pegu Club in New York City. So there was greater forces than me trying to evangelize this ancient 1920s cocktail.
And for our listeners who don't know, what is in that cocktail?
The Pegu Club is a gin sour. What's a classic cocktail called a improved gin sour. So it is 3 parts of gin, 1 part of an orange curacao, such as Cointreau or Grand Marnier or dry curacao, or triple sec, 1 ounce of fresh lime juice, and some bitters. I like to use both Angostura and orange bitters. It is a very old cocktail. It dates back to the Pegu Club, which was the big British imperial aristocratic gentlemen's club in Rangoon, Burma, back during the days of the Raj. It is a delicious cocktail. It is bright and strong. And it's a pretty good one for introducing people to gin who aren't necessarily in it. Like I said, my recipe is 3 parts gin, 1 part lime juice, 1 part Cointreau, dash of orange, dash of Ango, shake it, serve it up. It's a fabulous cocktail. Everyone should drink it.
Yeah.
But that got me into this whole idea of searching for talented, advanced bartenders, talking to them about their craft, talking to them about what they were doing, and learning for myself how to create these next level drinks. And from that, I learned about the creativity that goes into cocktails as opposed to, say, drinking wine, which to me is a critic's game. It's about evaluating other people's work and other people's creativity as opposed to your own work and your own creativity.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a pretty good segue into our next topic, which is your amazing cocktail book that you published.
Thank you.
So you've been planning this for a long time, right?
Actually, we were working on a somewhat different cocktail book from the community here in town. And I'm hoping to get back to that project sometime in the future. But this one sort of came up when everything came to a crashing, miserable halt, and people were looking around for what to do with themselves. And one of our industry members of our local USBG chapter, Tammy Slobodnik, contacted me because she knew I had a community cocktail book sort of in the back of my mind for a while, and she suggested we do one for charity relief for bartenders who are out of work and are struggling. And I thought that was a great idea. And so she and I started recruiting a lot of talented and eager bartenders who were sitting around with nothing to do, and started collecting a group of cocktails that could rationally be made by amateurs in their home with stuff they could get pretty easily. You know, there are cocktails in that book that someone dealing with, you know, New York level quarantine could make. There are other cocktails in that book that you would have to be dealing with Ohio level quarantine to be able to make. But nonetheless, the idea was they're cocktails for shut-ins. If you want a next level cocktail in terms of creativity and interest, and you can't get out to a bar and find what someone's offering up for you there.
You don't just have cocktails, you also have methodology and
yes, there's a fair amount of the first section of the book is some methodology about some of the basic terms for cocktails and some of the basic strategies and skills that someone needs. A little bit of that first section gives you a taste of what some of my curriculum is for my home cocktail education. Some of it is lifted from yet another cocktail book I'm working on that's a much more text-heavy and much more in-depth book that I have not spent enough of my time in quarantine working on. I wish I had, but nonetheless.
There's
so,
time,
and then,
unfortunately.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's still time, unfortunately.
Yes, there is still time, and I was actually doing a bit of writing on that earlier today. I need to just dig back into that as well. But yes, there's some. I think it's pretty good instructional material in there for people who, you know, if your cocktail practice to this point has been to pour Jack Daniels and Coca-Cola into a glass with ice. Making more advanced cocktails can seem a little intimidating. I don't think it really is once you get into it. But it always helps to have someone giving you a good starting point to build your skills off of.
And what better time than now to learn a new skill?
It is a great time to learn a new skill. And it is definitely a great time to learn the value of being able to make a great cocktail yourself at home.
Yeah.
And where can people buy the book?
The book is available in 3 formats. It's available on Kindle and on Apple Books. And it is available in paperback from Amazon, direct from Amazon. We use their Amazon's direct to print. So if you order it, they will print a copy of it and send it to you. To find it, you look up under CBC Quarantinis is the name of the book on Amazon and on Apple. Or you can simply search by author by my name, Doug Winship, and you'll find it there, since that's the only author title I have on those platforms.
Nice.
And all of the proceeds that I get from that, I turn around and am sending to a local bar and restaurant relief organization here in town.
Nice.
That's awesome.
And Father's Day is coming up. That would be a great gift.
It is an excellent gift for Father's Day. It is an excellent gift before Father's Day because many of you would like to have your spouse or someone else shut up in the house with you to go make you a good cocktail before that. Things are opening up a little bit, but it's still, many of us have a lot of reasons not to be able to go out to bars yet. A lot of bars are not fully up and running yet. So a lot of staff also is not yet back on the job and still needs some help. So,
does Huli Huli have a plan for reopening yet?
Huli Huli does have a plan for reopening. I actually worked my first shift since February on Saturday.
Okay.
And we have a small patio and have high hopes that the Powell City Council will allow us to expand that patio shortly. As of, I believe, this Thursday, when the state allows indoor seating at restaurants, we've rearranged all our seating so that we're able to accommodate a number of people indoors. And for them, we will be up and running and offering our full tiki experience. with full cocktails and glassware and everything else like that. And it's going to mean a heck of a lot of extra work on us for dishwashing and things like that, and maintaining cleanliness and social distancing. But we're changing our order, our logistics of taking orders and things like that. But come this Thursday, which day is that? I think the 21st. You will be able to go into Huli Huli, sit down and enjoy a lobster roll or some bao buns or bang bang broccoli, and have a zombie or a Mai Tai.
Nice. Are you doing any kind of carry out food or cocktails?
We have done very well with both carry out food and cocktails.
Oh, good.
During all of this, it's been the support from the Northside community of our customers, and many, in fact, new customers who've discovered us through the whole takeout ordeal, has really been just a huge advantage in allowing a lot of the staff to maintain some form of employment and ensure that the restaurant remains economically viable. And we intend to continue the takeout food, and we intend to continue the takeout cocktails as long as the state allows us to.
Awesome. Because I'm not really anxious to get out and sit in a restaurant yet, but we've been trying to do carry out every night. So we've got, I have to admit, we have not been to Huli Huli yet. We've been talking about it forever, but it's hard for us having a cocktail tour every weekend to get up to Powell. So, but now we have time, so we have no excuse.
Right.
So.
Well, the way we put a lot of work into our to-go cocktail program. Our to-go cocktails, primarily the three we have all the time, are our Mai Tai, our Blue Hawaii, and our Painkiller, which are our three most popular cocktails during normal times when we're not all in whatever we're dealing with right now. Yeah. But we sell the cocktails bottled up in ball jars, and we provide a little bit of garnish and some swizzle sticks and stuff like that, so you can dress your drink up and feel like you're getting a proper tiki cocktail. It's more than just a bottle of booze for you to pour into a glass. So
nice.
We put a fair amount into that, and we try to run some drink specials and things like that, and we'll continue to do so on that front. And it should be hopefully we'll be allowed to continue that program for a while. I would love it if the state decided to extend to harden up and make a little more sustainable the regulations for to-go cocktails, and maintain that as something going forward. I know there are a number of states in the country, including Ohio, who are at least giving some consideration to that front, and that I think would be one of a lasting long-term benefit to come out of all this mess.
I think that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
I think we should all write a letter to Jim Canepa, the superintendent.
I was about to say, write your state representative and your state senator, and tell them that you'd really feel that the interests of our community would support responsible to-go cocktail programs.
Absolutely. Well, Doug Winship, it's been a pleasure talking to you. We look forward to seeing you getting up to Powell and getting a cocktail. And thank you for the good work that you've done with this cocktail book and supporting the industry. It's really great thing. So thank you for taking the time to be with us today, and take care of yourself.
I had fun. Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Be careful. Cheers.
Listeners, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Seabus Craft Cocktail Tour. Visit our website at columbuscraftcocktailtour.com for cocktail tour dates, women and whiskey tastings, special events, merchandise, and if you're looking for a gift for that special person in your life, get them a gift card to our cocktail tour. Thank you to our producer, Greg Hansberry, and to the biographer for our original music. And please remember to drink responsibly and be cocktail curious. Cheers.